I just was on live for about 40 minutes, giving y'all game. I can't even recall all the game I was getting, but it was all authentic. I ain't follow no guidelines. I ain't break no guidelines. Did nothing. They just cut my live. See, that's the reason why I got up from in front of that mic like that all the time, because they would do that in there, and then you got an audience building, and they just shut it off. See what I'm saying? I don't break no guidelines, so all they can do is just shut my live off because I'm giving y'all game. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving y'all game. And I stress on my lives that yeah, this is not for kids. So this is not one that's recommended for children. You know what I'm saying? So, and I stay within my guidelines, and that's that. I stopped even playing our music because they was they was trying. We had to keep proving every time we play our record that we own it, and when it's distributed straight to us, to you, playing games like that. So, or we would play it and they wouldn't act like they wanted to count it. See what I'm saying? Until, if you got a real record company, you know who to get in touch with to make them count your month, Anyway, but that's here nor there. Um, just like our channel was distributed through a record company, through a distribution company. So our music is monetized on our site. It has to be because our music is being distributed through there. So, and the music has to be counted if it's streamed off of our channel. So you have to count it. All right. But anyway, that's here and there. They just cut my live though. Cut it off. Straight off. Click. Can't find it. Nothing. Wasn't able to stop, upload it, nothing. And I don't be having no crazy channel. I don't be having no crazy viewers. I might get 4 or 5 come in, tap in, shoot out, do something else, boom, boom, boom. We ain't got no crazy channel because, we ain't, it's here. We utilizing it, but we it's a whole conglomerate. So it's just one part of us. You feel me? So to try to silence me is for what? That's my thing. What about for what? Then we gotta go on our videos and take them off of private because they got them as private. How you got our videos as private, but it's distributed through everybody? Like, I don't understand. It's just like little games. I don't understand it. We gotta go through, and when you list it as private, not so many people is gonna be getting recommended your video because it's private. So we gotta go through and open them back up. You know what I'm saying? To everybody. Like, but when we publish the live, it ain't private. So how's you republish? And then once we submit it, it takes them so long to put the video out that when we upload it, it shouldn't take them more than 20 minutes. It's taking a day to 2 days for our video to render through their own equipment. We just ending the thing and submitting it. And it's taking you 2 days to render it? Like, why are you trying to silence us, though? That's all I want to know. Well, why you want to silence us, though? Like, this is wild. They just at my line, though. I said, woo, that was cold. We had to go through, do it again, boom, 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 boom. I don't even know if all that even got took. But if you was able to get in, you was informed, there was some jewels in them. But it's cool because it gave me something else to talk about different. So check this out. Right? So you mean to tell me this country is about, they say, justice, foreign, and American, whatever it is, whatever your little saying is. So you gonna let an open convicted felon be Run for president? Like, you been shitting on us felons for years, bro. We had to go through hard times, bro. With repeat offenders. All type of fucking rules we can't do. We gotta memorize this shit like it's the back of our hand. You know what I'm saying? You can't even, your man can't even have a hammer on his hip and they be registered to him and you standing by him. They can charge you with that for being, it's called reckless concealment. Like, what? So now you got all these motherfuckers jumping behind a felon. Cause he's a felon. I'm like, man, so all these years I could have ran for president? Wow. I said, man, if that don't scream criminal, I don't know what does. You got motherfuckers in their own, so you mean to tell me not one Republican in that fucking party thought they couldn't beat a felon? They been shitting on us for years. All the endure, homeboys I done lost, leaving prison, homeboys that ain't never coming home. And don't get it fucked up. Trump was indicting motherfuckers when he was in president too. Don't get that fucked up. Shit, them numbers had to come in every year. Every quarter, them numbers had to be in. So he was indicting motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Goyeo just said he had locked his ass up. So yeah, don't get that fucked up. Now he lock him up. Now he about to be locked. And he don't even go to court. Man. Hey, look. I don't want no parts of it, bro. I'm cool. I'm boo. I don't want no parts of it. I'm boo. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And the other side's so fucking retarded. Like, what? She can have this motherfucker arrested. She can legally have him arrested. And they can say, why? She can say, because they done tried to kill him twice. I think he's a threat to society. And put his ass in jail. He couldn't fight that because somebody died at that rally. And she running against him like she... I say, yeah. What? They too dumb to win. But she ain't got... You mean it? And you were a prosecutor. You know this. Saying that, I don't care what the Supreme Court just came out with. He out on a federal bond and they done tried to kill him twice. He's a threat to society. He ain't walking around this motherfucker free. He under federal indictment. Them indictments ain't get thrown out. I said, but man, this is mighty ironic that they been in all the rules that they prosecuted us for years for this motherfucker. That's what I don't respect. All these years they've been prosecuting us and doing type of cruel shit to us, felons. And they've been in every fucking rule for this motherfucker. Federally too. They ain't even talked about the state case. That's what he convicted on, the state case. That the feds don't even got no jurisdiction of. So even if he becomes the president, he still got to answer charges for being convicted by the state. Because they can't supersede or override a state conviction. That's a fact. He will have to be sentenced under state law. Period. He can't get out of that. And the Supreme Court cannot overturn that conviction. for the state. The state is its own government. It just get funding from the United States. If you think I'm lying, do your history. That's why it's United States versus and whatever state you're from versus. States is their own government. So even with him postponing it, he still got to be sentenced under these charges. He's found guilty under 34 counts. And they done tried to kill him twice, and y'all still letting this motherfucker out? Come on, man. And what else is to be talked about? Because Puffy ain't out. And they talking... and Puff tried to hand him $50 million. They said, no, he ain't killed a soul. He ain't killed a soul. Ain't killed a soul. He ain't being charged with no murders or nothing. Ain't nobody trying to knock him off and kill somebody. You could say Puff, okay. You could say Biggie, okay, he was there that night. Okay, you could use that, but they did that once. They done tried this nigga twice. Say they coming back. Come on, man. And he out? Bro. No. I'm sorry. If y'all ain't competent enough to be able to run off that, he gave y'all a perfect platter to run off. I wouldn't have debated him, nothing. Nothing. I'd have made this whole country so focused on that. Nothing else. I don't want to talk about politics with no criminal. Period. He can't get around it because it's the truth. How the hell you gonna run the government? And you was a prosecutor. How the hell you gonna run the government? You ain't even smart enough to know that. That somebody appointed you the head prosecutor, the DA of that. You should have known. If I step foot on the stage with this motherfucker and he out on a federal bond, his bond could be revoked. That didn't click in your head being a vice president of the United States? What the fuck? This country is weird, bro. There's a lot of weird shit going on. Him and Elon Musk done clicked up. He want to make Elon Musk part of the government. This motherfucker got a truck that got 24-hour surveillance. This the motherfucker what the fuck? This the motherfucker you want to put in to cut the budget or some shit? Him? This motherfucker truck is 24-hour surveillance. Man, what? Fuck. So my car's recording me all day. No. That's no. And it's a fact. Now I know it's a fact. How you think they found out what happened to Fulio? They got the video from a fucking Tesla that was parked in the parking lot. And that's where they obtained the footage from. A fucking Tesla. Their fucking car was off. I said, how they get the footage if the car was off? The owner in the hotel. Come out, this bitch got 24-hour surveillance. You can't make this shit up. Oh, man. Hell no, I don't want to be around those Cybertrucks at all. Get them bitches away from me. I'm cool. They ugly as hell anyway. Get them bitches away from me. That's a walking camera. I'm cool. Yeah, I'm boo. Get that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck what it look like, what it's on with. Keep that motherfucker away from me. Far away. What's the range on that bitch? Yeah, keep it put 100 on top of that, whatever the range is. Come on, man. Who the fuck want a camera on? If your car's the camera, 24. So, Who is the footage going to? That's what I'm saying. Okay, the car has 24-hour surveillance. Where's the footage going? What? Is it coming directly to me? So if it's coming to me, I want to turn it off. Only way they ain't coming to me, only way I can't turn it off, it ain't coming to me. So if it got 24-hour surveillance, that means the footage ain't coming to me. Who is it going to? Who is watching all these footage from these Cybertrucks? Yeah, all right. Hey, yo. I should have invested in AI when I went to that Skype meeting. I should have put every fucking thing I had in there. I put the motherfucker in and built this. I'm in the process of building this when I get the Skype meeting about 5G and AI and how none of it can work without 5G. From a white guy from Silicon Valley with a long gray beard. And he put it in an Android. Yep. I was there. Week later, I got sick with, first time I had been sick in like 15 years. Yeah, I hadn't been sick a long time. That's how I knew something was attacking my someone was attacking my system. You know what I'm saying? Because I hadn't been sick in so long. So I knew when someone right. And when I took the interview, when I went to the Skype meeting, I was in my office and my mother was there. And she watched it from a distance, so she heard everything that they was talking about. And she said, I'll go get the money out the other account. I'm like, nah. Boom. Next thing I know, I get sick as hell a couple days later. I'm like, damn, I ain't been sick in like 15 years. She said, ever since you went to that fucking meeting, you got sick. This was in like November. Boom. This November 2019. Boom. Next thing you know, this shit started breaking out everywhere. But it was funny because everywhere he said 5G was going to launch is everywhere the sickness launched. He said it was going to come out in Europe, Asia. This is who was getting it first. Europe, Asia, North America, which is us, and Canada. And then it was going to roll out from California, New York, Miami, Texas. And if I be goddamn, that fucking disease didn't come out the exact same way. Then it was like a chain of events. So at the same time that was going on, my son was going to school for digital marketing, whatever. So they brought in 2 vials of blood. At this time, that shit was going on. 1 vial was from a person that died from natural causes. 1 vial was a person that died from the disease. And he said the 1 vial dad looked like, the one would run like Kool-Aid, like it was water. He said the other one, it was so thick, it was like oil. He said you could tell it looked like it was fried. He like, so whatever's inside that shit is frying our blood cells and our immune systems to the point where it fries it down to nothing, and then you get attacked by pneumonia and die. And that's what it was doing. It's the radiation from the motherfuckers turning that fucking shit on. And when I went and watched it on the Skype meeting, everybody that went got sick. I know they did. If I got sick, everybody got sick. But he activated it then. And by us getting sick, we developed the antibodies. That's why after I got sick from that time of that, In November 2019, the virus has never, I haven't been sick from the virus since. Do I think it was the virus? Yeah, I think it was the first cases. Yeah, I think it was the first cases. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it was the very first cases of the virus, and you know, they turned it on. And once he piled that motherfucker up on the phone, everybody that was in the vicinity that was tapped into that link got sick. Whether you made it or not. Great deal. If you survived and you bought in, they're filthy rich. Cause that motherfucker trading out there two, three, $400,000 for a share. And we was getting like 30 shares for like 15 grand. Like for like 30 shares. Them motherfuckers trading at like 200 something $1,000 per share. Filthy fucking rich. And he said, and it wasn't Elon Musk neither. And he said, everything is gonna come from this. Without this, none of that works. He said, so many companies got sued for saying they had 5G lying, and they didn't. And he pulled the articles up, and we seen it. How many companies were lying? AT&T was one of them. They lied, said they had it, and they didn't. It hadn't even launched yet. And it was 5G. And from 5G came the AI. Because he said you're going to be able to have holograms. They're going to be able to give you diagnosis at home. The doctor's going to be able to be in your home on a hologram. Cars are going to drive themselves. What else did he say? He said all type of shit. Everything is robots. Getting us off this planet was a big one. But you had to be an undecided voter, and you had to own a business. And I had just filed the record company, and I was like 2 years in, and I was still an undecided voter. So they targeted my ass and sent me the invite, and I went on the Skype. Boop boop. It was on that joint. I got somebody living live. Just got living proof of it. And he unveiled 5G. I said, this is it. It's the new era. This is it. This is the new wave. This is gonna change the world. We're gonna be able to do everything that we wish we could do back then. We can do now. Voice recognition, face recognition, AI generated holograms, 3D games. Where he was talking about with the headphones just before they came out, the virtual games they got now. It's before they dropped. It's 2019. 2020, we know it hit. Boom. And I'm sitting there watching people get sick and just pass away. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, I'm not getting sick. Why? Because I was already sick. But we were sick first. So he actually gave us a gift. He gave us to be able to build up the antibodies. That's how they was able to come up with the vaccination from the antibodies of people who couldn't get sick. Because their bodies developed the antibody to fight the virus off. But don't get it fucked up. We're all infected with it. It's digital. It's in this. It's digital. It's a digital virus. It's not like the flu. It's a digital virus. And the older you are, the more high risk of you passing away from it. That's why it killed off a whole generation of baby boomers. It killed all them off damn near because their bodies couldn't produce the antibodies to fight that motherfucker off. They just was too old. So it was knocking them down. And it's crazy because my mother she didn't get sick at all. And it caused me not to be able to spread it. So I can't. So once we was hit, boom, it built up our antibodies. We couldn't spread it, and we couldn't catch it. We were immune to it now. We had to be, because she should have got sick. She was directly in contact with me at that time. My old girl, my Duke. So she was staying at the condo with me. So at the time, she was in direct contact with me. She would have got sick for sure, but she didn't. That's why she knew, like, you didn't get sick. And she knew nothing, and that shit hadn't even came out here yet. She just was like, ever since you went to that fucking video, you got sick. And I felt that shit. It would feel like something was just pushing on me. Like, it was weird. Like, it was weird. And I woke up, like, man, what the fuck is wrong with me? And I couldn't hardly breathe. Luckily, I had Mucinex. And I started taking them. And I started going through the symptoms. It was like 2 weeks. I laid in the bed for like 3 days. But once I came about that motherfucker, I started watching the news and seeing what the fuck was going on. I'm like, damn. Then that shit hit. Boom. Yeah. And then they made us lock in because they had to put the towers up. And they knew if they didn't lock us in, and when they put them towers up, more people was going to get sick and die because the radio waves was going to be too high. So they made you stay in the house. Put the towers up, and then they let us out. But what they got pissed about is that Republicans wanted to break 5G. They didn't want to have to put it in the hands of the Democrats going into the next election, which was 20. Trump was already president in 2019. So going into 2020, he didn't want to hand them that technology and leave the fucking office. That's why he wasn't turning shit over. See, it's deeper than what people think. How I know? Because I went to the fucking meeting to break the shit. And all them motherfuckers were Trump supporters. And they was Republicans. They broke 5G. That's why Elon Musk is in line with the shit, because he also was in Silicon Valley at that time. The Republicans did not want to leave the office and hand the Democrats 5G. And that's exactly what they did. So they got pissed and tried to do whatever they could to block that fucking election, because they knew how much that fucking tech was going into 2020. You know what I'm saying? Going into 2020. So they didn't want to block that motherfucking tech and lose it to the hands of the Democrats, because once he left office, they got to go. So now they got to take over all the budgets and everything that was tied to that tech. And that's what happened. That's what happened. And that's the reason for all of this shit. They did not want to leave the office breaking, because they wanted to break it earlier. That's why he signed the Space Force in effect, because they were going to inline 5G with the Space Force. Develop 5G up under the Space Force umbrella. And that was the plan. That's why in 2018, he signed in the Space Force. 2019, they break 5G. 2018, he signed the Space Force in. 2020, they break 5G. But he has to go up for election. He loses. So now he comes out of office. He has to turn over all the black. They had to turn over all the black ops and anything, all the tech, the money he got that went endorsed to push this tech to the Democrats, who now gets it and gets to utilize it for 4 years. Okay? Which was developed under a whole nother administration. And that's what happened. And that's what happened. And it rolled out. Boom. When it rolled out, everybody got sick. People died off. They had to cut the money because you couldn't go to work. So the government had to cut the money. It ain't had nothing to do with Trump. Okay? So boom, they get to cutting the money. Now what's the problem? Okay, he has to come up for re-election. He can't leave office. So they did whatever they could for him not to leave office. They didn't want to lose the election. They didn't want to turn that tech over to the Democrats. But that's what happened. They took it, and now you got what they're using it for. Because since then, they ain't came out with no new tech. As far as big major tech, that was it. That was gonna be the one for the next 30. He said it for the next fucking 100 years. They was gonna be able to develop and manipulate and do whatever they needed to do off of this tech, and it was that. And he damn sure didn't put that bitch in no iPhone. He put that bitch in an Android. That shit was no bigger than some goddamn ashes. And he said, now you just seen the activation of 5G. It's coming out 2020 in January. Europe will get it. And then he started rolling it out. But he like, y'all can buy in right now. You can buy in right now. right now. So motherfuckers like, shit. You just start seeing, you had a red, yellow, you had a red light and a green light. You know what I'm saying? You just start seeing motherfuckers' lights go up, bing, 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 on top of their videos. Bing, 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 bing. And when their lights go up, their channel go black. Because they got to go right into going into the process of buying the stock. You know what I'm saying? Or you can leave. And that's exactly what you just start seeing. Ding, ding. But you have people in the audience too. Yeah. That's why the Space Force was created. Space Force as a branch. You know what I'm saying? There was always some type of Space Force that was in the Air Force, but the Space Force is its own branch now. That directly deals with the capabilities and development of 5G. How do I know? My son works for a contractor under the Space Force. Stop playing with us. Yo, like, subscribe, tap in, man. The best motherfucker on the planet. Holla.